Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, the Hut. Of course, this is the Baseball Hut too, and doing a lot of great things here. I want to thank you for watching and subscribing. We're getting awfully close to 1,000 subscribers. Within the next few hours and a day or so, it's going to get there. But I need you to do something, one last thing for me. That is to watch as much of the video as you can. Because right now I need to get 4,000 hours on, on YouTube. You need to get 4,000 hours as well as 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours of view time, and 1,000 subs. And I need you to watch the videos as long as you can. The channel right now needs about 1,500 viewed hours. It seems like a lot, but it's really not a lot. So if every person watches this video, watches the entirety of it, and all the videos coming up over the next 2 weeks, this channel will get monetized very, very quickly. So here we go. We're going to talk about in this channel, in this video, the top 25 MLB trade candidates going into the August 1st deadline. And we know the big names. We'll get into the big names at the end of this video. We'll go through some mentionables, and this is from the Bleacher Report. Honorable mentions. Tons of names, folks. Tons of names. Starting pitchers. Carlos Carrasco, New York Mets. Mike Clevenger, the Chicago White Sox. Rich Hill, Dick Mountain. I would expect that Mountain will get moved. Relief pitchers. Brad Hand. This guy, I saw him with the Mets. Reynaldo Lopez of the White Sox. Brooks Raley, keep an eye on that. Michael Fulmer of the Cubs, he might get moved. Chris Stratton of the Cardinals. Hitters. Seth Brown. Mark Canha of the New York Mets. He's going to be more than just the top, mentionable. There's a good chance he's going to get moved. That's been the rumor. C.J. Cron is always discussed by the Rockies. He never gets moved. There's Monty Grandal of the White Sox. First baseman Carlos Santana of the Pirates. Now here are a bunch of names and go through them. Kenyon Middleton of the Chicago White Sox. Middleton has been one of the offseason's most successful minor league signings. Returning to the quality late inning form he showed early in his career with the LA Angels. 29-year-old has a 3.0 ERA, 1.21 WHIP, and 11.7 Ks per 9 innings and 35 relief appearances. Right-handed pitcher Paul Blackburn of the Oakland Athletics, and he's a reliever, an all-star last year when he finished with a 4.28 ERA. Blackburn is a useful back-of-the-rotation starter. He's a starter. Rotation starter on a contender. The 29-year-old is controllable through the 25 season, and with a decent raise over his $1.9 million salary, likely forthcoming during the offseason, the A's will be motivated to deal. The A's always deal. Shortstop Tim Anderson. Now, I've heard the Dodgers with him, but he's not had a good year at all. With a 223 average, a 258 on base percentage, and a 262 slug, and a 45, get this, at 45 OPS plus, that ranks dead last among 151 qualified hitters. Anderson has been terrible this year. However, the two-time All-Star was a .318 hitter over the past 4 seasons, and a change of scenery to a contender might be just what he needs to jumpstart his season. Those numbers are horrible. Right-handed pitcher Lance Lynn of the White Sox, a 6.06 ERA in 108 1/3 innings, doesn't jump off the page, but Lynn has shown flashes of late, including brilliant starts on June 18th and July 6th. The 36-year-old has been to the postseason 7 different times, and the White Sox paid down some of the remainder of his $18.5 million salary. He could be a nice pickup. He will be for a good team. A good back end of the rotation guy who could probably, go back to his old form. Shortstop Paul DeJean of the Cardinals. The Cardinals are going to be wheeling and dealing like crazy. DeJean hit just 157 and struggled to the point that he was demoted to the minors last year, but he's rebounded nicely this year, above 100 OPS plus and 12 home runs. He has club options for 24 and 25. So he could either be a rental or a future addition. Next up, right-handed pitcher Justin Lawrence of the Rockies. With stellar numbers and 5 remaining years of club control, Lawrence looks like a great sell-high trade chip for the Rockies. With a mid-90s fastball, wipeout slider, and a deceptive crossfire delivery, he has a 2.70 ERA and 1.14 WHIP, with 5 saves and 8 holds and 39 appearances. Now here we have something interesting in the New York Met. Tommy Pham. Pham was signed to a 1-year, $6 million deal during the offseason to serve as the Mets' 4th outfielder. But he's played his way into the starting left field job. He's been playing every day. He's played great. And he will be moved. Once the Mets make that move to start trading players, he will be moved, and it'll be interesting what they get for him. He's 35 years old. And he will be a good addition to some team. Outfielder Randall Krejcik of the Rockies. Krejcik missed the first 27 games of the season, recovering from a sports hernia surgery, and is hitting .300. Now, I've heard the Yankees with him. We'll see what the Yankees do. They're a very interesting case. From the Tigers, Michael Lorenzen. Lorenzen was Detroit's lone All-Star representative this year after inking a 1-year, $8.5 million contract during the offseason. The Tigers sit just 5 games back in the wide open AL Central race. So the next few weeks will determine if they buy or sell. They should just sell. Sell the player, sell the team, and everything else. Nothing that isn't attached, you sell it. Right-handed pitcher Jack Flaherty of the Cardinals. After struggling to a 6.108 ERA over his first 8 starts, he has 5 quality starts in his last 9 outings, including back-to-back scoreless starts on the 1st of July and the 6th of July to close out the first half. Still only 27, he will be a free agent for the first time this offseason. Be interesting to see how he recovers. A potential big contract over the next 2 months. Right-handed pitcher and reliever Jordan Hicks of the Cardinals. Since taking over as the Cardinals closer in mid-June, Hicks has gone 7 of 8 on save opportunities with a 2.61 ERA. He does very hard. He has electric stuff and can be a game-changing rental arm for any contender's bullpen. But with him, let the buyer beware. He walks a lot of batters. Okay, left-handed pitcher Eduardo Rodriguez from the Tigers. Rodriguez had a 2.13 ERA over 11 starts before missing nearly 6 weeks recovering from a ruptured finger pulley. He has allowed 9 hits and 7 earned runs across 9 innings since return to action on July 5th. He will need to prove he's back to full strength for Detroit to maximize his trade value. The 30-year-old can opt out of the final 3 years and $49 million of his contract this offseason. If he stays, he's gonna opt out because they're so bad. Why would he want to return there? And he's pitched pretty well. Kyle Hendricks of the Cubs. Hendricks missed the first 48 games of the season recovering from a tear in his right shoulder, but he has been quietly excellent since returning. He's on a short list of active players who have started Game 7 of the World Series, and thanks to a 3.12 ERA in 57 2/3 postseason innings, his playoff experience makes him an attractive rental option. So I think he's very good. Some team would really want him with all that experience. Right-handed pitcher Scott Barlow, the closer of the Kansas City Royals. Since the start of 21, Barlow has racked up a 6.0 wins above replacement, a total that trails only Jordan Romano among all relievers. The 30-year-old has a 2.63 ERA with 51 saves and 20 holds in 172 games during that span, and with an additional year of club control in 24, he will be a hot commodity at the deadline. Max Scherzer. Scherzer has not been the same Cy Young caliber starter this year. That goes without saying. And the Mets are working hard. I would say they're working hard to move him because they rearranged the rotation to get more starts out of him before the deadline. So keep an eye on him. If the Mets are willing to take all the money, he's willing to, and he said this, he's willing to take, waive his no trade clause. If they do that, the Mets could get something interesting in a trade. Next up, David Robinson, another Met. David Robinson will be moved. The word is that they will move him. He's got a 1-year deal. He's pitching really well. The Mets it would be very interesting to see who they bring in, because last year when he was traded at the deadline from the Cubs to the Phillies. The Phillies were able to get a very good pitcher in return from Philadelphia. Number 9, Jordan Montgomery of the Cardinals. That's an interesting name. He's pitched well in the past, pitched well in New York. First baseman outfielder Cody Bellinger of the Cubs. Non-tendered by the Dodgers last offseason, Bellinger signed a 1-year, $17.5 million deal with the Cubs in hopes of rebuilding his stock, and he has done that. And you can check out his numbers. He has certainly done that. Number 7 on this list, Shane Bieber. Let the buyer beware. If the Guardians are trying to move him, let the buyer beware. Be very careful. Do not give up what you would normally get for a guy that's been a Cy Young Award winner. Don't do it. Marcus Stroman. Marcus will be moved. He will be moved. I can guarantee you that. Because he's going to opt out, and they haven't been able to negotiate, the Cubs and Marcus. And he's going to get moved. No doubt. Jameer Candelario. Now, he's a third baseman with the Nationals. He's going to get moved. They signed him to move him. He's going to be gone. No doubt. Josh Hader of the Padres. We'll see if he gets moved. Word is that the Padres are not willing to sell just yet. They want to trade. They want to sell. They don't want to. They don't want to. They want to buy. I'm all right. There's so many teams, folks. They want to buy. They don't want to sell. That's the word. AJ Preller believes in his team. We'll see. Next up, Lucas Giolito. He's going to get moved. Definitely. Because he's pitched well. He's still young. And the White Sox will get something really good for him. Number 2 on this list, left-handed pitcher Blake Snell. Again, I don't know where the Padres stand with their team or what the ownership thinks. But Snell could get moved, or he might not get moved. Right now, they're kind of like in the middle. Now, they did not play well against the Phillies. The Phillies swept them this past weekend. And finally, you know where this is going. Shohei Ohtani. Show me the money. Well, word is he's the big kahuna, the big fish. Will he be traded before the deadline? Doesn't seem like he's going to be. But the Angels are listening to teams. So they have not closed the door. They haven't closed the book on him. And they still want him back. So it's not a situation they don't want the player. It's just a matter of can they maximize the deal, or can they convince him to sign? He's not going to sign until he's a free agent this offseason. Well, you let me know what you think about this video. What do you think? Who did I miss on this list that Bleacher Report has? Leave that in the comments section. Of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.